The only thing you need to know about beat arrangement is that building and releasing tension is very important. There's two halves to this understanding. One, how beats arrangement, and then two, why beats arrangement. So I've got this basic loop here. And then there's an entire melody with various sections, and you'll hear all of that as we go through this beat arrangement. So the first thing I like to do is start off with 6 8-bar sections, which is why my melody is built like this. So then I'll just duplicate over my drums so it matches that 6 8-bar sections. Boom. Intro should be very minimal, so I'll have no drums. And we can bring in all my bass again. I had that off when I was demoing the drums. So I don't want to get into the bass just yet, so I might actually rearrange this just a little bit. And the bass will build along with the melody as well. And then for the second 8 bars of the chorus, we'll just do more of the same. Since the melody is doing most of the work in the building here, we don't have to do too much with the drums. And then we get into the verse. So there's going to be this 8 bars of intro, 16 bars of chorus, and then 16 bars of verse. And I like this because all the drums begin to play with the 808, and it goes back to being very minimal in terms of melody as well. And then this last 8 bars will just be pre-hook or pre-chorus, whatever your persuasion is. You can really do anything, but one of the ways that I like to work it is I'll take out all of my drums, do something like this, and maybe bring, if I have some bass, I'll bring that back in. And then from here, what I'll do is I'll duplicate everything over that is not that intro. So instead of duplicating all 6 8-bar sections, we're only duplicating 5. We're leaving out that intro, and then it just duplicates over again. We have the chorus, which is 16 bars, then 16 bars of verse, and then another pre-hook, and then we'll grab the chorus and we'll just duplicate that over one last time. To make the chorus more focused on what's happening in the melody instead of the drums for this particular beat, I'm actually going to take out that trap hat for just that section and have it be something that drops just for the verse. So I actually forgot that I had it all in one pattern, so I'll do that via automation instead. And so we'll do it here. Right click and boom, no more trap hat. Then what we can do is make this as long as that first 6 bars and then cut it just like that and duplicate it over the same way we did with the sections of our beat, and it matches up. Same way we duplicated over those 5 8-bar sections, we'll just duplicate 5 8-bar sections of that automation instead of the full 6 the way we printed it in. The next thing you want to do is add beat cuts. A really good place to add a beat cut is going to be right when you drop into your verse, which is right here when all the drums first come in. And it just sounds really nice. There are also a lot of other things that you can do to make your arrangement interesting. Like you can use time and pitch modulation to play with your transitions. So we could come over to, say, the master, open up a gross beat. Open up a new automation. And then what you can do is play with this between each 8-bar section. So we could do at the end of every verse, that little gross beat automation will come on. Just a little subtle thing like that. And then boom, we'll drag that over so that it fits that first 6 bars we made, and we'll do the same thing with this other automation. You can also use things like transitions. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is just select a little portion at the end, something like this. You're gonna come here, go to your master fader, copy that value, then create an automation clip, and then create some kind of slope where it just fades out. Something a little less linear tends to sound interesting. And that's also why instead of putting it right at the beginning of the 8-bar section, I prefer to do something like this, where it's just a little less on the grid in terms of the fade out. Good stuff. And that's all you need in order to arrange a beat. Most of the drum sounds in that beat can be found in the 14 drum kit, link below. All right, so now for the why. My goal for this video is to solve your beat arrangement by solving two issues. The first one is not knowing how to turn an 8-bar loop into a full beat, which we solved with the framework we just covered. And the second one is that annoying voice in the back of your head that makes you question each and every single arrangement you make, making you wonder, are artists gonna like it? Is this gonna sound trash? Is it gonna be interesting? The way to solve both problems is to understand that arrangement is simply about building and releasing tension. You pick a point to start, and then you build tension or you release it throughout the musical piece. It's kind of like telling a story. The first thing you need is a framework that outlines the way you arrange the beat, which is literally what we just covered. And mine is just based on popular music I like, these two Google searches, and then combining all of that, getting results with sales and placements, and then kind of figuring out in general what people tend to like listening to. The point is, with this framework or whatever system you choose to arrange your beats, you have something that allows you to consistently turn those 8-bar arrangements into full tracks. But none of this matters. And none of this matters because remember, the whole point of any of this is to create an emotional experience by building and releasing energy in your musical arrangement. If you can grasp the basic concept, you can pretty much stop the overthinking. Please stop the overthinking. So in an example using artists that I've done songs with, there's this one by Yanga Chief, Utatsuko remix. South Africans roast me every time I say it. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it. But basically they used it exactly how I had it arranged, right? So let me go to the actual beat, and it's literally just intro right here for 8 bars, just like we talked about. Something interesting, melody, a vox from a movie, a fill, some kind of transition, and then we get into the hook, which in the actual song, which we'll get to in a second, they ended up using that as the verse. They started off with the verse, the second 8 bars of the hook right here, the way I had it arranged. And then we get into the verse, and that's just, there's just a release of energy because this beat is just, it's really just one sample that's pitched up and down. So really the whole point is that it's just a movement of energy. You catch their attention right at the beginning, and then from whatever point that you start your energy off from, wherever you start your story, the way you're introducing the piece, you build the energy or you release the energy from there, and then it continues to go up and down like a roller coaster until they're done, and hopefully they enjoy the experience, right? In the actual track, they had the intro. A lot of songs will have intros, standard stuff, no drums coming in. And then there's verse, 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 verse. So what they did was they just did 16 bars of verse right at the beginning after the 8 bars of intro, and then they got into the hook, and then it just repeats over and over again. There's also pre-chorus in there. They just arranged it however they felt like, because at the end of the day, they're gonna use the beat as a template for whatever their actual idea is. You just wanna arrange it competently based on understanding that you wanna move energy up and down throughout the piece. You wanna make it interesting. So in this next song that I wanna demonstrate the concept, this is just another one where I started off with 8 bars of intro. Again, it's just something interesting, but here we started with drums. So there's that 1 bar of like the warping intro. And then we started with the drums that were filtered out. Just something interesting to the listener to snatch their attention, be like, this is gonna be an interesting story. So it was built out to be a complete 16. And then right here, all the drums are gonna drop out for this 8 bars. So I had this as a pre-hook, and then this last 16 bars is the hook or the chorus. So my homie Dizzy 8, when he did the song, he basically used it exactly the way I arranged it. The only difference is that he duplicated it over for the feature with God's The Dawn. And then he also duplicated over the synth bass section so that it would be just 16 bars of that for the chorus that he ended up doing. So just to show you, he used it, even that warping intro, he used it, he used the filter drums, and he decided to punch in for his intro, but it's just 8 bars of intro right at the beginning. They'll use it however they feel like using. So verse, and then the drums dropped out just the way I had it. He's still spitting fire, and then he just drops into the hook or the chorus. And so he just duplicated that entire arrangement over one more time for the feature, and then he did the hook one more time, and then that was the entire arrangement. And he used it a little differently, and that's the whole point. You just want to make something that has a good flow of energy, is interesting from start to finish, and that is going to give them a template to perform their ideas on, basically. As long as you focus on creating something interesting by building and releasing the energy and tension in your musical piece, you'll be fine, I promise. Start with the framework. It could be mine or any other one that you decide to learn and adopt. Use it and then learn how to expand upon it. If you like the way the drums sounded on that beat at the beginning, check out the 14 drum kit. All those sounds are in there, and it comes with free updates for life. And if you like the melody, check out this video appearing on your screen now, where I demonstrate how I made it while showing you my new melody making formula. I'll see you there. Peace.